or so that I think would be a little bit unreliable, but you can on the smartwatches see your heart rate.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we would just have one where you displayed it and then maybe had a couple of suggestions for how to work it down, and so you could see your heart rate change in real time.
Yeah, that would be, in a corner, that would be good. But the coping techniques would be good too. Figuring out a certain, like you said, a variety of choices and figuring out what might work for you.
So we thought of so a lot of apps out there have like audio coaches, which is fine, but that's not really super useful if you're in public, like you can't just play something out loud. Maybe if you had headphones, but then I've had panic attacks at funerals, so like can't really put in headphones during a funeral. So I was thinking one with where it would be tapping and you could do each individual finger.
I think what would be good is if you had an icon of a balloon, and as you breathe in, the balloon got bigger, and the balloon would stay inflated, and as long as you're supposed to hold the breath.
That would be cool.
The balloon would go down as you were letting the balloon and the air out. That would be kind of cool, and probably not too hard to design.
It wouldn't be hard to design, but it would be. I'm not sure how the watch would sense that. That's what would be tough.
Well, no, but if that's sense what?
Sense your breath. I'm not sure if.
Oh no, you wouldn't sense your breath. It's a coaching device.
Oh,
it
so you would follow it.
You follow the
would
balloon.
follow it.
Yeah,
oh, I like that.
Programmed, and then what?
You went to the dollar store again?
Yes.
Where you did?
She's recording, so we'll carry our conversation on this. Yeah. So it's a coca. I'm like, I want my balloon. I follow. It's full. I let out with the balloon. So
that's a good one.
That would be a good technique. One that you could use. One could be. Breathing is the best way, I think, to relax yourself.
It is. And so, it's hard for me though. So I know Kelsey, when she gets anxious, she gets nauseous. That's her thing. When I get anxious, I can't breathe properly. I take in too much air and then I don't let it out all the way. And once that gets going, it's really hard to follow in, out sort of thing. And actually in Vegas, I had to breathe into my purse, so I could get more carbon dioxide in.
What triggered your anxiety in Las Vegas?
Part of it was the smoke, so I was having some asthma. Part of it was I had coffee in the middle of the day, and that was terrible decision. And part of it was just I had been having a little bit of anxiety just overall. I think it was...
Well, there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of stimulation, there's a lot of sights and sounds and new things. And I don't know, it was a bad one.
No, you gotta do your ACT study.
I'm studying for that this week. That's what I'm planning.
Yeah. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow, little red-headed girl.
I'm not red-headed. I'll just
sit right here.
Sit here.
Okay, so the balloon would be one idea. The other one is maybe calming, like the sound of, like, how kids go to sleep at night, they calm them down with the sound.
So yeah, we were thinking we would have some either calming music where it's just kind of instrumental sort of thing, or then either heartbeat or like ocean or white noise.
Yeah.
Any of those sort of things.
White noise is good when you're going to sleep, but I'd say it's probably like the ocean sound is or running water.
Where
would
it's
be really kind of calming.
Okay.
And maybe doing that in conjunction with a breathing.
Okay.
Where you can customize
you could turn switch the audio to the balloon, or turn it off if you're in a public setting where you
or you could have the
use it.
balloon with the balloon could be doing its thing, and maybe in the center of the balloon, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So it counts it out,
and
sort of
the
a
word
thing.
hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Exhale. Well, the balloon would visually be exhaling anyway, so you wouldn't have to say that. So that would be one. And then you can probably think of different types of things that are similar to a balloon for breathing. You know. The other thing that I do now on airplanes to sort of cope with when it gets a little turbulent is I do word search puzzles. And by that, my head is here, my focus is on the words, and so whatever's going on like this is less important because I'm just trying to find the next word, so I'm distracting myself from what's going on around. I don't know how you could distract somebody, but maybe you...
Preloaded puzzles or something.
Yeah, maybe some kind of you remember that game they used to have called Simon, where the thing would light up in a pattern, and you had to
follow it, pay
the
attention,
pattern.
and follow the pattern,
and repeat the pattern.
like Simon Says.
Yeah, maybe you could do
That would be easy, yeah.
a pattern of 4 or 6.
I think they usually like started out with 1, and then you do 2, and then you do 3, and then
But
you
I
just
mean,
keep
you could
going.
like have a picture of a whale and a tiger and a sheep, and the problem is too easy if you just flash those pictures 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to push the button on the order in which. But that's a distracting kind of thing.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
having somebody work on this pattern thing, and that could be something that would be distracting as well. I don't know. For me, the breathing one would be important.
Breathing is
and
a
then
big thing.
if you know what your anxiety is, maybe you can pre-program when you're rational. You can pre-program statements.
Yeah, so we
that-
were thinking of having a mantra section, and we
Yeah.
could preload ones that I have ones that Marnie gave me, like a set of 10 statements that she has on an index card for me. But yeah, adding your own would definitely be good.
Yeah, if your thing interfaces with your computer, you could just
Oh,
design them
it
on-
interfaces with your phone.
Yeah, so you could design them where you have a keypad and just design what during your rational time, this is an irrational reaction to your stimuli. So, what do you want to say to yourself during that time? You're safer in a plane than you are in a car.
Yeah.
I mean, I could come up with 50 of them for me.
Right.
I don't know that I could come up with 50 on the chairlifts, but although I'm sure people don't fall off chairlifts and blah blah.
Or if they do, I mean, it's into
That's
snow.
just you're up high and it's a visual thing.
So for Kelsey, her thing was, because I was asking her what she does when she has a panic attack, and she was like, well, I do what I'm doing right now. I was like, what's that? She was like, I call
everybody.
someone, anyone.
Yeah,
So for her,
lifeline.
I don't know if the app would be super helpful in her case, because the whole point of it is to try and get you through it where it's just you. If
Well,
you
you-
don't have,
Yeah, you could
Signal
speed
or-
dial. You have this.
but you can
Your
have that on your
support group.
phone anyway, you know?
Yeah, but hit the panic attack button and your support group, dial, and it'd be quicker to get to those people.
That could be.
That's comforting to know for somebody who's having a panic attack.
Mhm.
That's their method out. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like you've thought of some of these things already.
Just kind of what's helped me in the past.
The balloon one, I think, would be good.
That is a good one. I haven't thought about that. Kyle, do you have any thoughts?
Oh, I'm paying attention.
Do you ever feel panicky or get anxious?
Mm-hmm.
What helps you?
Calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I breathe differently. That helps. Pretty much it. Mine aren't super bad. I don't have like really bad panic attacks or anything like that.
So do you like take deep breaths before you give a speech or something?
Well, yeah, but like I don't know. Sometimes I'll have like just anxiety, like walking through the halls or something. And I'll just like start like taking like 3 deep breaths and it'll help. So
That's good.
I might hang out with Nick pretty soon. Also,
How's the sandwich?
honestly, I don't know how you figured it out, but I think you improved it. Pretty darn good.
Yeah. I think it's the grills and the bread I didn't toast in advance, so. Yeah, I sometimes too, when I'm recently, sometimes at work, I get overwhelmed because there's just too much to do, too many people asking me too many questions all at the same time. And with that, sometimes I'll just get up and walk out of the building, just walk around the block. I had to walk around the block a few times just to, try and clear the air, put myself in a different environment.
Yeah. No, I do that. I mean, my anxiety is all about being trapped somewhere.
Oh.
So sometimes, because after Vegas, I did go to the snow a couple of times, and I got uncomfortable on the chairlifts, not because of the height, but just because it's a block of time when you can't get off. There's no getting off, and so that makes me uncomfortable. If I'm driving on a bridge where there's no,
Bridges used to
What's
bridges
it?
bothered my dad a lot.
Yeah.
And they used to bother me. Now they don't bother me at all. And the Caldecott Tunnel used to bug me.
So I just don't like it when there's no shoulder, because I feel like there's no escape. There's no getting off of this. There's no getting out of this. And so the Caldecott Tunnel didn't used to have a shoulder, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes the bridges don't have shoulders, and I don't like that.
Yeah, but you can grow out of that.
Oh, I mean, it's only when I've been anxious for a while that those kinds of things bother me.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks ago when I was driving to Aunt Michelle's and it was like raining really, really hard, and I had just gone to a CPR class where I was kind of getting anxious about people who can't breathe, people who need help, people like, God,
Yeah.
that wasn't fun. And so then driving there, I was really, really panicky about not being able to pull over. But then I did the same drive a week later, or 2 weeks later for Easter. Not a problem.
Well, I think that's the best way to cope in that situation is just driving the slow lane, because there is always
That's what I did.
shoulder there.
Well, except on bridges.
Yeah, but a bridge it's a short period of time you're going to be there.
I know. No, I
the Bay
know.
Bridge
I
is
know.
probably
I get that, but like it's.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, your app would be useful, and people know when they're in a panic attack. They don't necessarily need their thing to tell them.
Yeah.
However, it may be interesting to have the app say, "Hey, your heart rate's up to a spot that's
Is
unusual
everything
for
okay?
you." Yeah.
Maybe open the app when it sees your heart rate. It's like that, because I don't know if you're having a panic attack, you really want to go unlock your phone and scroll.
Oh, it would be on your watch
where's
and phone. So it's, yeah, the whole point is that like if you're driving, you
Yeah.
can't go messing with your phone, but if you've got something just you could scroll, it's up at your eye level. That's a little bit easier. Or if you don't have signal like on a plane,
Does it vibrate?
yes, it can vibrate. Kelsey's thought was the tapping thing would work, but for her, when she taps, she likes that she can feel it. She said she'll tap on her foot. So she was like, you could do the tapping thing, just have it buzz every time you do a tap in the button. Make the button move. And
Yeah. I'll have the button. You'd hit it here and it moves over here.
well, because I mean, it would primarily be on your watch. You could have it on your phone, where it just random location.
Right. Yeah. That would be
Or you could have it on your phone and have it buzz on your watch. I don't know.
Yeah, that might, you don't know. You might just hit on something that, by it randomly moving, it actually engages the brain.
That's what I'm hoping, right? Like it would be a distraction.
Right,
That you have to. It's more than just a repetition thing, because you can still be focused on other things. You actually have to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds pretty good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It helps. It's helpful.
Good.